Hi, everyone. Welcome to the talk show of Industrial Ecology Master's Program. I'm Tom. I'm a second year Industrial Ecology student, and I'm your host today for this talk show. And before we begin, let me first go over the structure of today's session. So first we'll do a small round of introduction of everyone that we have here. We have one of the staff and two students, one second year and one first year student. Then I will ask some questions that I've prepared for all of you and for me to answer and hopefully give you some more in-depth insights on the program. And lastly, we'll go into the Q&A session. And for that, while we are discussing some questions, you can already put them into the chat and we'll discuss them afterwards. Moreover, on the website of Industrial Ecology, you can already see upcoming events to get to know us and the program a little bit better. And the next event will be an online experience day, which is going to be on Friday, the 21st of November. This entails a mini lecture and a chance to speak to some staff, some graduates, and some other students of the program. So yeah, let's start with some introductions. Amine, let's start with you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Amine Gorbani. I'm the program director of the Industrial Ecology program, and I'm also a core teacher. So I teach the course methods for studying social processes.
Thank you so much, Amine. Matthias, on to you.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Matthias. I am a second year student. Before IE, I studied a bachelor's in environmental sciences.
Perfect.
Hi, I'm Jenna. I am a first year student. I did my bachelor's in industrial design engineering, and now I'm in the master's.
I can also quickly introduce myself. So, as I said, I'm Tom. I'm 24 years old. I'm from the Netherlands, and I have a background in industrial design. So you see that it's already very, very diverse, the people that are here. So thank you, everyone. And well, my first question goes out to you, Amine, this most burning question, basically, which is, well, what is the master program Industrial Ecology about? Like, what makes it so unique to study this?
Yeah, so Industrial Ecology is a program that brings in social sciences, environmental sciences, and engineering sciences together to study the global challenges of today's society, so sustainability challenges. And basically, the program offers you a very comprehensive perspective on how to address those challenges and not just on a single monodisciplinary approach. And you learn different methods to study, for example, to understand and study various material flows, environmental footprints, etc. And you also learn how, for example, the decisions of various actors, the human beings, citizens, as well as global actors, influences those material flows. So that's why it really provides a very high level, system level, where both the environment, the society, and everything else in between is covered.
So it really sounds like it combines a lot of disciplines, as you said.
Absolutely.
Can you maybe elaborate a little bit more on this so-called interdisciplinarity of the program?
Yeah. So a lot of programs claim that they're interdisciplinary, but what makes our program truly interdisciplinary is that we actually offer a joint program, which means that we have experts both in the field of environmental sciences, so people who actually studied environmental sciences, bringing their expertise into the program and educating our students. And we also have engineers and social scientists. So we have scientists in every aspect who are actually well known in their fields, who are the teachers of the program. And what makes it even more interdisciplinary is that eventually what we hope to do with the program is to bring all these different disciplines together in course projects where actually get to practice bringing different perspectives and knowledge to addressing the challenges that we face in today's society.
Thank you. Well, that gives us a better understanding of what interdisciplinary means in our program. And now I'd like to ask Matthias and Jenna a question for the students that are looking from home. What actually motivated you to choose industrial ecology as your master's?
So
maybe Matthias, you can have a start.
yes. So like I said, I studied environmental sciences before, so I was already in the field of sustainability. And even though I really liked it, I felt like it was a lot of theory, and I wanted something very applied. And this master's is kind of a toolkit that you can use then in like for your career. And that's what I was hoping for something more applied approach. And I really found that in the master's. So that's the main thing that motivated me, as well as this mix between a social, technical, and more natural science topics.
Again, the interdisciplinarity then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jenna, how about you? What motivated you?
I actually had fellow coworkers who'd done the course, and they were
Right.
heavily encouraging me, and they were so motivational about it.
Yeah.
And I was having a tough time because I was thinking, do I go into circular economy? But I also wish I'd done environmental engineering, and I was stuck trying to choose one. And I heard about industrial ecology. The name didn't quite click, but I heard it explained as sustainability frameworks in industry. And then, yeah, that was it for me.
That is actually exactly how I also started with industrial ecology. I heard it drop by one of my friends because I was talking about, okay, I come from industrial design, so I was very much looking into circular product design, sustainability. And then one of my friends said, oh, but have you heard about industrial ecology, which is taught at Leiden and Delft? I said, no. So yeah, that's also how I started here. And I also agree that it's super practical in the sense that you really get to understand certain software and tools that allow you to grasp what is sustainability, how can we measure these things. So I absolutely agree with your motivation.
And I actually hear circularity coming back to all of your talks, because it's not in the name, but apparently what all that we learn is about circularity one way or another, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the main contribution in terms of what we can do in practice to make our society circular in terms of waste, like everything else.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the program is basically a joint degree between Leiden University and the Technical University of Delft in order to combine all of these disciplines. And I would love to know actually what was it like for you, Matthias, to have already been studying at both Leiden and Delft?
I think it's very unique to have this joint degree. First of all, in terms of like practical matters, I would say there's like a third of us that live in Leiden, a third in Delft, and then a third like in The Hague or other cities. I live in Leiden personally, but because it's split like this, when you have to commute, you're never alone. Like there's always IE classmates that will go with you. But I think it's really unique because it brings you like more of a network. You connect with professors from both unis, but also just two campuses and two vibes. And also, let's say like there's a project going on in Delft and in Leiden, you can take part in both. So I really like that.
And well, Jenna, you haven't really been to Delft, but that will come in a later quarter, in quarter 2. But how has it been already studying in Leiden?
Studying in Leiden, wow, the campus is actually so pretty because we have multiple buildings. So I quite like that. You get to interact with lots of different students by being able to switch campuses, which is nice. And I actually work in Delft, right next to TU Delft.
Oh, perfect. So you do already get to
do the commute, but yeah.
Yeah, and I would say I live personally in The Hague, and I also really enjoy going to both cities. You just get the best of both worlds in that sense, and get to meet a lot of different kinds of students and disciplines. And the commute is very easy from.
And maybe just to clarify, we have a quota in Delft and a quota in Leiden. So in one day or even in 1 week, people don't have to commute.
Exactly.
It's just like you have a Delft quota.
You can even take some classes in The Hague. That's what I'm doing at the moment.
So yeah, that really depends on which quarter you're in. Coming back to this interdisciplinarity, how do you, as students, actually experience this? Because we talked about, meeting different students, but you also have to work together inside the industrial ecology program. So how is it to study together and collaborate with students from many different backgrounds, Jenna?
Personally, I'm really grateful for it. It's something that you cannot put on paper. It's only something you can learn from other people. And our bachelors are different from everybody in the course, but also where everybody is from, which I really like. You have people in your debates who are from first world countries, people who are from third world countries. So the debates help you practice more of like an all-rounder perspective, which I think is very valuable.
yeah, you get a lot of different perspectives, and also you see where the interests lie of many different students. And I think that's very, very amazing to see that it's not just bound to what we might think, okay, we're here in the Netherlands, let's look at the Netherlands, but it's so worldwide, basically. And we have a lot of group work. And how do you experience that, Matthias?
Yeah, well, right now I'm doing, well, just like the sustainability challenge, a big course of the second year. And in my team, we have someone with a chemical engineering background and someone with a history background. So it's really different. And then me with more natural sciences. I think it's really nice because we all have our own skills and perspectives. But I also think that especially by the time we reach the second year, we work with tools that we all learned in IE and we all master equally. So you also don't really feel this difference regardless of the background, but you can still bring your own expertise to the group.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And well, you might wonder at home, what does a week really look like for us industrial ecology students? What does this look like in practice? How many lectures do we have? How many work meetings do we have? And yeah, could you maybe elaborate a little bit more on this, Jenna?
Yeah, so for me, my classes start at 9:30, which is great because I actually live in Rotterdam. So it's more than enough time to commute, and other students use it as time to prep before the lectures or exercise, which I think is quite nice. And I have 3 classes and sometimes a class on Monday. So I have classes Tuesday to Thursday, and Monday and Friday are study days, which is also great. It means that my weekends aren't as chewed up by work. So, and it also means that if you're a student who does competitive sports or works on the side, you can also use those days to balance out.
Yeah. Oh, that's great to know, because that was actually one of my concerns at first. Is there enough time to do either sports or work to the side? Because industrial ecology is a full-time program, but as you say, there is room for these kinds of things. And Amine, can you maybe let's zoom out a bit, and can you maybe explain a little bit more about the overall structure of the IE program?
Yeah, so the program starts by giving you the fundamentals of environmental sciences, social sciences, and systems engineering point of view. These happen in the first 2 quarters of the program, so Q1 and Q2, the first year. And basically you have you learn how material flows work, how life cycle assessment can be done, and what society's metabolism in general means, what happens to waste, etc. So you just get these different theoretical perspectives, fundamental perspectives. And once you have that in the first semester of the first year, you're good to go for the rest of the program, which means that the rest is quite practical and applicable to various domains. So we have in the second part of the first year, we have the integrated projects, which basically brings different knowledge that you have gained through the first two Q quarters into a practical setting, whether urban or industrial, and you get to work on practical projects, which are still hypothetical, but they're practical.
Yeah.
But then in the second year, and by the way, you have a lot of room for electives. In the second year, you have this sustainability challenge, which Matthias just talked about, which is where you actually get to work on the topics that stakeholders have provided for us. So we have stakeholders both from private organizations as well as public organizations who provide problems for us, and students in groups have a full semester to work on different sustainability challenges. And in the end, there's a big event where you actually present the results to the stakeholders. And after that, you get to prepare for your thesis and write a thesis project in your 4th quarter, which is, I don't know, maybe I can explain about it later on.
Yeah.
You
can explain it
now.
Later.
Yeah, later. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit later.
Yeah, so basically, I'll get to the thesis project later on. But what I want to emphasize on is that there's a lot of room for electives in the first year and also in the second year. Which means that if you're more interested in the social sciences or engineering, you can take courses from TU Delft. And if you're interested in environmental sciences and you want to get more expertise, for example, in a method that you've already been introduced to, you get to do that too. So it's very customizable, based on your interest, your existing knowledge, etc.
Thank you, Amine. And maybe good to know for the students watching at home, you can find the full curriculum on the website. It's a very clear overview of which mandatory courses you have in Q1 and Q2, and all these other, big parts of the curriculum, such as the Sustainability Challenge. So you can look on the website for that. Another good point maybe to discuss is that I had, for example, some uncertainties. Can I start in February? And I already talked with the study advisors, and that is sadly a bit more difficult because we have these mandatory courses in Q1 and Q2 for you to have a very good base of industrial ecology. So we do start in September with the program. And maybe nice to go a little bit more in depth of the sustainability project, because it is a very, very fun and valuable project. Jana, you will be doing this in the second year, but Matthias, you're doing this now. Could you maybe explain a little bit more about maybe your project, what you are working on?
Yes, so as you said, it's in small teams. For me, we are 4. And we have as an external commissioner, the French mining research group. So it's a really interesting topic, and we get to work for them for 5 months over something that will really complement their already existing research. So that's really valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we get to present it in this big symposium at the end, and then meet all the other commissioners. And the deliverable of this course is like a big report.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do, for example, is that we are going to map the global flows of some minerals and look at their certifications to see what are the minerals entering the EU. Are they from certified ethical sources?
Mm-hmm.
So it's something really relevant as well.
Yeah, super interesting. And so the assortment of organizations that come to the Sustainability Challenge is very diverse. So you might have a more governmental body reaching out, whereas I have a private company. So I'm doing my project now at Sepia. They're housed in The Hague. They make sustainable soap or made from 100% sustainably sourced ingredients, and they want my team to develop a couple of LCAs on their product. So it is very diverse, reaching from governmental bodies to private companies to institutions and possibly NGOs. So that is, I think, the main value you get from the Sustainability Challenge, that it's so hands-on. And after the Sustainability Challenge, right, we're almost, not almost there, but after the Sustainability Challenge, we have to start our thesis.
Yes.
And maybe it's good to elaborate a little bit more to the students. What does the thesis preparation course and the thesis program look like, Amine?
Yeah, sure. So the thesis program requires a proposal, which is basically written during the thesis preparation module. So you get to find a supervisor that most suits you. You can find supervisors from both universities. A lot of students decide to have one supervisor from Delft and one in Leiden, and not just one faculty but multiple faculties. So there's lots of possibility. So they define the problem, the research questions, etc. during the thesis preparation module.
Mm-hmm.
Once they have a proposal, in the second semester of the second year, they start their master thesis projects. Which is basically 6 months working on a topic that you have chosen with the help of 2 supervisors.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you get to graduate.
Yeah, exactly.
The big prize.
So after this thesis were full-grown master students with a master degree, and it would maybe be nice for the students at home to know, like, what kind of career options can we see after the Master of Industrial Ecology. So could you tell us a little bit more about what you've seen at alumni, or where they work right now, what positions they fill?
Yeah, I think with Matthias and Tom, the Sustainability Challenge already addressed this to some extent. So every single organization, whether private, public, NGO, governmental, all of them have these sustainability departments.
Exactly.
Which basically means you can find jobs anywhere from, if you want to make money, then you would go to a consultancy company and do your sustainability job. If you want to contribute to science, you become a PhD. We have a lot of PhD students.
Yeah.
from the IE program who decided to continue their scientific endeavors. And we also have a lot of people working at NGOs and other governmental organizations, ministries, for example. So it's very broad. And I think the tools that we provide actually provide a lot of attractiveness for IE student, IE graduates, because like many companies are looking for these tools that you become experts in.
Yeah, exactly. So I can maybe give a couple of examples of people that I know, the third years now, basically, that are working, for example, at a municipality, working to help accelerate the energy transition, so helping households become more sustainable, let's say. But I also know a friend that is working at this floating solar park company, which is pretty cool. And I also know another friend that is working at Green Choice, so at an energy provider which provides sustainably sourced energy from solar and wind. So these are all many different examples that you can think of as a career after industrial ecology. So we'll soon move to the Q&A session. We'll have one last question, but before that, I think it's good to recap a little bit what we talked about. So industrial ecology is basically a joint degree between Leiden and Delft. It's an interdisciplinary program which combines social sciences, engineering sciences, and environmental sciences to really tackle environmentally sustainable problems. And it provides you with tools and methods to really tackle these problems hands-on and in a very practical way. So I have one last question prepared for you guys before we move on to the Q&A. And this is a bigger question. So what has been up until now your favorite or most inspiring aspect of the program? And maybe Jenna, starting with you with the most recent experiences of all of us.
I think inspiring-wise, definitely the guest lecturers who come talk. Because, so for example, last week we had a guest lecture from somebody who works at Rio Tinto. For those who don't know, it's a massive mining company.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting to hear because he gave both perspectives. He's now doing research.
Yeah.
I really like having those kind of lectures where you get to hear from somebody who's deep in industry.
Yeah.
Come and tell you that actually you are learning the right thing. It is very valuable. And then they also just tell you a whole bunch of stuff I think I've learned so many things that I just didn't even know existed.
Yeah, exactly. I absolutely agree with that. Matthias, what is your most inspiring moment up until now in the industrial ecology?
Well, I would say it's kind of related to what you say, but more from the student perspective. I think that people really have a drive to have like a good impact beyond just, getting a degree, which is really nice. You can see that, of course, everyone has their own interest or career path, but everyone like kind of serves with purpose in the masters in a way, and has like an intrinsic interest in sustainability, which is nice. But it's not just that. Something also that was more like impressive recently is that for my thesis I get to do it with a really cool engineering consultancy, so a really cool company. So there's some really nice opportunities as well for prospective students who might be watching.
Yeah. And I mean, how about you've seen already quite a lot, so that might be a bit more difficult for you.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe one thing that I've been seeing recurring over the 15 years I've been involved in the program is the sense of community, which, I mean, I'm involved in other master programs as well at TU Delft. And you just have this sense of community connectedness, friendship that stays every year. It's not like it goes with the sense with the people like friend. The students are friends, the teachers are friends together. We know each other, we hug each other, And,
yeah, exactly.
And I think it relates to what Matthias said about this like intrinsic motivation of sustainability. It just makes you a more caring person.
Yeah.
And therefore it also is a bond, in the community. So it's not the scientific, it's not a master science cohort of students. It's a IE community.
Yeah.
It's you cannot even divide between students and teachers and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I also really agree with that in that sense. It's a very very close community feeling that you really get. You know each other quite well, and it's just very, very friendly. What I think was very, very inspiring for me was actually seeing the or the graduates from last year. So I was there at the graduation of the last year's second years, and there I saw all of these thesis topics and what people have done and now graduated on. And I was just amazed by how complex of topics they can tackle, and they are now full-grown master graduates. And I thought it was super inspiring to see so many people graduate with such great ambitions and great thesis topics. So that's ultimately what you're working towards if you decide to join the industrial ecology program. So that wraps up the questions that I've prepared for all of us. And now it might be nice to move to the questions that we have from students at home. So let's see. I see Diana has posted a question 5 minutes ago, which is it possible to do an internship during your studies? And is it possible to combine it with your thesis? Does anyone want to answer this one? Maybe this is good for you.
Yeah, but do you have experience that I can answer? But
maybe you know it more like systematically. I would say I have friends in IE that did an internship next to their studies.
Yeah.
Or like a job, but like, you know, not any student side job, like already in the field. What I can say for myself is that I haven't started my thesis, but it will be with a company, so it will not be like a full-time internship, but I will have meetings with them like weekly. So I think anything is possible, but it's maybe not always standard to do this. But if you find the right project and the right supervisor, then you can combine it like that.
Yeah, indeed. So you can do internships in your program. You can also do your master thesis in a company or an organization where you would still have the two supervisors from the university, but you also get a company supervisor. So it's certainly possible. Actually, a lot of people even go abroad and do their thesis abroad.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also looking for a thesis at a company. So it's something you need to put a little bit more effort into, but it surely is doable. Then I see that Naila also posted a question, and this prospective student would love to know, is it possible to study and work at the same time? Does University Leiden offer this possibility? And are lectures in the evening, or do you have a lot of working groups? Maybe Jana, you would like to answer this?
So it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
I work 2 days a week actually. So but I know a lot of students, actually almost every single student that I know either does a competitive sport or works once a week on the side. And it's definitely manageable because for most of the weeks you have at least one day to complete your work. And most of the students choose that as their working day. And then in terms of the working groups, building on top of what you said, the students are super willing to make it work for you. So like my work group, we all live in different cities. So we do online meetings and then we make time to meet after class to make our group work possible. But so far haven't really occurred any issues.
All right, that's good. I also agree. Maybe Matthias wants to add
one thing about that. I think it's completely possible to work, and indeed it's really common. I would say you should still remember that this is a full-time master's.
And an intensive one.
I used to work a lot in the first semester of the first year, and it was sometimes making it a bit harder for me to combine university and work and social life and such. But it's definitely possible. Just don't overdo it, I would say.
I think for a lot of the European students who are not Dutch, they do 1 day a work week in order to get student financing. And I'd say doing 1 day a week is what I would recommend.
Yeah, exactly. I fully agree to that. Otherwise, it might be a little bit too overwhelming, all the workload. So yeah, it is definitely possible. Do we have time for one more question?
Maybe you can answer this one.
Maybe we can answer this one last question, which is by YK. I've been working in sustainability decarbonization for a few years now, and I would like to gain more systemic, technical, and practical trainings. Would this program be suitable, or is it more focused on theories? And do some fellow students have practical experience maybe would be good for Matthias?
Yeah, I think we kind of. Do you mind? If
Scroll back. Yeah.
I think it is definitely like I said, it's definitely applied. So not only theory. I think you start with a little starting block of theory to put you back on track. So you should expect that in the beginning. But I think it's definitely it aims to make you someone that has this practical thinking and that try to aim for a solution like this. And for the question about the work in the meantime, I think we already kind of answered that before.
Yeah. Exactly. And quickly to answer the question below, on the website it shows there's a February intake. Is that not available anymore? From my knowledge, it is not available to admit yourself February onwards. So it's only from September. But just to be sure, maybe you can answer.
So as you said before, the issue is that the courses build on top of each other. So even if you start in February, you will not be able to take many of the courses. So that's why, it's practically not recommended.
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunately, our time is up here today. I see that there are some other questions in the chat, and maybe Paula and Marleen can answer these as well. They're the study advisors, so you can always reach out to them if you have any other questions, and they are open also to have meetings with you. So they're very helpful. I would like to thank Amine, Matthias, and Jenna for being here and explaining some more about the industrial ecology program to you guys. And I would most importantly like to thank you all for being there, asking your questions, and hopefully this helps with your considerations in what to do next for a master's program. So yeah, on the website you can find our next events, and so the next event that will be there from Industrial Ecology is the online open day, basically, which is on Friday, the 21st of November. And here you get to talk with staff and students and also experience a mini lecture. And you can already sign up for this event on the webpage. So I think maybe Paula and Marleen can share a link to that so you can sign up right now if you have interests. And I wish you all a very wonderful day, and I hope to see you soon at Leiden University Industrial Ecology.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.